It's a joyful Saturday and a lovely Saturday for me, as I can call it, because we are expecting a lot, but nothing but the best in terms of sports, because today the league is resuming for us, and it's a wow, it's a wow, it's a wow. Hopefully you guys will try and link up with you as we come to cover the games that are being played today. ZAMBIA'S is back and the CAF games are being played today, so it's a joyous day for us. And I'm your host Amos, aka Amore, and welcome to Off the Pitch, the show that gives you nothing but the best in terms of sports. And I'm not alone, I'm joined by one Augustine. Augustine, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Amos. It's always a pleasure to be here. We return all the glory and honor to the Most High God for the gift of life and good health. It's an explosive weekend. Weekends are no longer the same now that ZAMBIA'S is back. We just look forward to exciting games that will come. What's the exciting moment for you today? I know it's the Arrows game. Yeah, I think it's a very, very big one. Red Arrows playing Young Buffaloes of Eswatini at Hero Stadium. It's a very, very big match. I think it's exciting moments to see Benedict Chepeshi leading Red Arrows out against the Buffaloes of Eswatini, because Chepeshi came from Lusaka Youth, joined Red Arrows from Lusaka Youth, made his debut in 2014 against Nakambala, and it's a big, big moment for him and his family to be leading out Red Arrows back into continental football. The last time were in continental football was in 2012.
To our viewers who are just joining us, like I said earlier, this is Off the Pitch. You can also watch us live. That's on our Facebook page, Camnet TV. Follow it, like it, and you'll be able to watch us live from there. Let's get talking. What's your rate? How would you rate the two games that Zambia has played so far? That's the World Cup qualifying games. That's the question for today. You can call in and give us your view in terms of the game that we've played. The two games that we've played, that's against Mauritania and Tunisia. But for now, we'll take a very, very short break and we'll be right back.
Camnet TV is here to entertain, educate, and inform you. Catch Rise and Thrive at 0730 hours every Saturday. Fresh and new praise and worship comes Monday to Friday at 8 hours. Kids need to be glued to the TV every weekday at 09 hours for their favorite cartoons. Off the Pitch with the boys as they talk about sport on Saturdays at 0930 hours.
Remember, we are also here to entertain you with our different varieties of movies every weekday at 10 hours. Join Pastor Victoria and Moses Chuluwa with Healing Word Ministries International Church live sermon every Sunday at 10 hours.
Katamanda brings to you another journey of gospel ministers on Saturdays at 10:30 hours. The verdict comes to your screens at 17:45 hours. Join the Revival Harvest Church every Sunday at 18:30 hours.
Every Monday to Saturday, join us on the news desk at 12 hours as we bring to you the midday news, and at 19:30 hours Central African time every day for the main bulletin.
The ministry with Pastor Moses Chilua comes every Friday at 20:45 hours. On Mondays, it's your favorite national matters at 20:45 hours.
Wednesday and Thursday, Pastor Victoria and Moses Chuluba are on Partnership of Greatness with different spiritual teachings at 20:45 hours.
And Frank on Camnet comes to your screen every Tuesday at 20:45 hours.
Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Are you a small to medium enterprise looking to advertise your products and services within your community and across Zambia? In these economic times, we are here to help you grow your business. Advertise with us on Camnet Market. Camnet Market is offering lower rates for prime time advertising between 06 to 18 hours every day to give your business an edge under the new normal and beyond. For more details, contact us on the following numbers: 097 975 3010 or 096 296 5883, as well as 096 244 726. You can also reach us via email on info@camnettvafrica.com. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
We are joined on set by a very, very familiar face, and when I say a very, very familiar face, I mean one Uncle Rapson. Uncle Rapson, welcome.
Thank you very much, and it's always a pleasure to be here. We've had a very, very very, very good week with regards to sports preparations, as well as a very, very sad week. We lost one of our colleagues in the media industry, Kaliwa, and very sad indeed. And our condolences to the bereaved family as well as the media fraternity across the country. And we have also lost one of my favorite friends, who's been one of the most, and I think one of the biggest soccer fans that you could find in every stadium across the country, by the name of Charles Simposia. May he so rest in peace. He's going to be put to rest this morning at Memorial Park, and it's been a week full of ups and downs, but we thank God for the gift of life and this breath that we have. We don't take it for granted. We give glory to the Lord God Almighty for the life that we are enjoying now. And welcome to the Zambian Super League this weekend. And Red Arrows is up against Young Green Buffaloes. And yesterday I had an opportunity of taking an interview with the technical bench from Young Buffaloes yesterday, as well as Red Arrows that was represented by one technical director, also Adim Tapa. And I think the preparations for this afternoon are going on extremely very, very well, if you ask me. And Young Buffaloes are bubbling with confidence. Coach Savelo spoke very highly of his team. And Captain, I say this called a very, very funny name, Santantala. I spoke to him, and he said his name like 3 times.
For you to get it?
No, I still couldn't get it. And up to today,
Santantra.
No, it's in Tantla. I spoke to him, and he was bubbling with a lot of confidence. And he mentioned the last time the club was here, probably none of those team members were here in 2012 when they I think they were last year in 20. When they played the last time they beat.
They played Young Green Eagles in Choma.
No, Young Green Eagles, yes, but the last time they came and dealt with you guys.
No, it was Royal Leopard. This is the first time we're meeting these lads.
So these guys.
And I think before we look at that game, let's just talk a bit of the game that was played within the course of the week. That's Zambia against Tunisia and Corruption. Something that you predicted to say the best result you could have gotten here at home was a draw, but it went wrong.
Well, that game, I think there are a couple of things that we didn't do right, and I think for me, Coach Beston Chambeshi, I don't know how his game plan was on the day, and I think the whole country thought Rodri Cabo would not start that game. For him to appear and wear that armband on the day, I think it was I don't know how to describe it. We looked, and that was a depleted Tunisian side, and I think their performance here and the chances we created, our finishing was quite pathetic, if you ask me. We created a couple of chances. One came through with Prince Mumba in a similar fashion, the way he scored in Mauritania. He had a similar opportunity at Levy, and he couldn't bury the ball in the back of the net. And I think that particular game, for me, the guys that came on in the second half are the guys that should have started the match, if you ask me. But chance blown away, you lose at home by 2-0 by a very, very average Tunisian side. If we had planned well and prepared well for that particular game, we should have done way better than what we did. I looked at Boyd Msonda in the middle of the pack, and for me it wasn't even surprising that kind of mediocre performance is the same performance that Coach Kelvin Kaindu. I don't know the reason why he has been dropped from the Zanaco Football Club. It's in unexplained circumstances, because when you look at everybody who was at the national team, Prince Mumba has travelled, Dominic Chanda has travelled with Cow Warriors, Kelvin Kampamba, Dixon Chapa, they have travelled with Zesco United. Boyd Msonda is the only one who has remained, well, for reasons based on the Zanaco Football Club. But I think his mediocre performance in the 2 games when he represented the country speak a lot of volumes with regards to his chances of being in that Zesco in that Zanaco lineup.
Augustine, let's look at the fact that Boyd Msonda is someone who is fighting for game time at Zanaco, and there and then he just finds himself as a starter in the national team. How would you rate the 2?
I think if you look at Boyd Msonda's performance, I think the 2 games it's been below par, to be honest. I think he didn't look very, very confident to get on the ball. He didn't even offer himself to get on the ball. Whenever he got on the ball, Whenever he got on the ball, he looked shambolic. He just looked disorganized, Boyd, to be honest. I think. But one thing that Boyd gives you is work rate. I think he works very, very hard for the team. That you cannot take away from him, because he always fights. He doesn't shy away from challenges. He doesn't shy away from midfield battles. He was always there, but he just didn't look confident whenever we were in possession. And when we were playing against a Tunisian side, we needed a lot of players to get on the ball and pass it. And if you go to the game, look at the way we played, I think, to me, in a long time, I think that was probably Zambia's best performance, if we have to be honest. The result didn't go away, but the performance was there. So we now have to start drawing confidence from how we play, because under Milutin Sojodevic, we never had performances and we never had results. I think you cannot build confidence from that aspect. If you look at the way Quicksilver and the boys played against Tunisia, you can see confidence. I think you can build confidence trying to say, let's do the things we did right, let's keep on doing them, and those we did wrong, we try and iron out those mistakes. If you look at the game against Tunisia, probably we were the better side because we had the most chances, but we were just not lethal in front of goal. If you look at our defenders, we were never put under pressure by Tunisia. I think the goal we conceded, Angorapson said that Rodrigo was not supposed to be in the starting lineup. I think, to me, how does Rodrigo hit the ball into the penalty spot area? I think that was a player of his experience. I think you do not do that. You hit the ball away from your box. Yeah. Angorapson is giving a sign. He was the captain of the day. I think the penalty, to my side, I felt it was a little bit soft. I do not understand why they give that. I think if you remember, Steve Bruce was talking about the same incident. Says the people who make these rules have never even played the game. Because how does Benedict Chepeshi jump? Because you use your hands for elevation. Probably it will hit your hand. So I think, to me, they call it a natural position, but how does he jump? Does he jump with his hands in his sides? I think that penalty was a little bit soft. Is the people who make the rules should look at it. And going back to the performances, Angorapson talked about the chance which Prince Mumba flapped. I think he was it in the first half. Yeah, it is the same setup. The goal that we conceded, the second goal. Now look, it comes to experience and composure. Prince Mumba hit of the moment, he finds that chance, fails to bury it. Again, towards the dying ends of the game in the 93rd minute, another young lad finds himself in a similar position, Jimmy Mkea. Another big chance. I think he was better off squaring it to Brand Muira for a tap-in. If you look at now the overall performance by Chipolopolo, we looked very well in possession of the ball. I think Dixon Chapa did very well. He looked different playing in that Tonda did in Mauritania. That's why we saw now our defenders very confident on the ball. There were no long balls like it was in Mauritania. We could pass the ball because there was always a holding midfield that was ready to receive the ball whenever the defenders were under pressure. And Solomon Sakala looked decent alongside Dominic Chana because we had someone who was protecting them very well in front of that back four. The only player in that back four who was questionable was always Rodrigo. He was neither defending nor attacking. What was Rodrigo doing in that game? And if you look at our two attacking midfielders, who were probably Boyd Simpson, that was a box-to-box midfielder, and Prince Mumba, who was supposed to be the guy who was supposed to link midfield and attack, they never got on the ball as much as we would have loved. They were not there to eliminate oppositions, because that's the job of a creative midfielder. You have to eliminate oppositions, get on the ball, eliminate them. They never did that. That's why we saw when Cletus Chamachot and Kelvin Mwanga came on, it was different going forward, because they were willing to run at people, willing to eliminate people to try and create for Zambia. Lumambo Msonda, he had a couple of good moments. There were some times when he went into wide areas and he never found anyone in the box. I think you could remember one incident, he was talking to his teammate saying, I cannot find any runner in the box. That was the problem. We never had willing runners to get into the box. It was different from Tunisia. Tunisia, we restricted them to three shots on target, and they capitalized because they had people who are willing to make the runs into the box. Wabikazi was one of them, was always looking different whenever he was approaching Rodrigo. Then they brought in Yusuf Msakini, one of the big players who have come out of Tunisia in recent years. He was destined for great things when he burst onto the scene. Was it in 2014 at the Africa Cup of Nations? We faced Tunisia again. When you can see the experience and how they manage the game, they are always in their shape. I think, to be fair, we moved the ball side to side. We asked questions of Tunisia, but it wasn't just our day. But credit to the boys, they gave it their all.
I'm going to on a quick one. Who would you rather, or who would you prefer had to sit on the bench, and who would you replace them with?
Against Tunisia?
From the team that started.
Well, like I said earlier, I think the team that came on in the second half should have been given the opportunity to start, and we saw the game had changed. I think over and above everything else, we saw how Kelvin Kampamba was taking on defenders, and in the game of football, the rule is very simple. Let one defender commit, eliminate that defender. You increase on the numbers in the box, because why? You've eliminated one defender. The time that you are trying to take across, the next defender who was probably marking one of your players is going to be attracted to you because you've eliminated one. That's exactly what we were lacking in the first half. There was no player who was willing to take on the players, other than Lubambo Msonda, who did that a couple of times in the first half. But I think for me, the team that finished the match should have been given the chance to start the game. And believe you me, Tunisia would have gone back crying had we buried our chances. Look at the chance that Jimmy Muke had. Surely, that was a splitting pass. That split all the defenders, and now he only had the chance either to beat the goalkeeper or to pass the ball to Brian Miller, who was on the far left. He decided to go on target, and he went off target. That is probably the biggest inexperience that we've ever seen in football, because that was a one-on-one with the goalkeeper. I didn't expect him in any way to miss that chance, but it happens in football. But the most important thing is we created our chances as a country. We went on target a couple of times. Our finishing was pathetic. But I think this is a game where you can't blame the coach entirely. Why? Because unless you want to get to a stage where the coach should go and score. But if the players and the midfielders have given 2-3 killer passes in a game and we are failing to finish them off, there's literally nothing that you can do.
We've seen and we've heard that those are the talks that we have, and like I've said earlier, you can call us and give us your view in terms of the games that we played so far. Those are the two games that we played. That's against Tunisia and Mauritania. Do we still stand a chance of qualifying? And just call in and give us a view. For now, we'll take a very short break and we'll be right back.
Africa is rising to a new dawn of integrity and accountability. Are you tired of being swindled or buying fake or illegal properties? Would you like to sell or buy genuine property? Would you like to list your property on both local and international market? Don't waste your time. Call the professionals, the SGK Properties, on +260 762 166 018. SGK Properties. Your business assurance is our priority.
The Camnet October Conference is fast approaching. To participate in the forthcoming conference, you're required to book your seat by paying 750 kwacha per person per day. Date 1st and 2nd October 2021. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Guest speakers include Professor Reda, Professor Munkumba, Mr. Nkuruma Kalaluka, Dr. Musonda, Dr. Sitima, Anthony from USA, Dr. Mwale, Honorable Bob Sichinga, Elias Bondela, and your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chiluba.
The deadline for payments will be 28th September 2021. Any late payment made after 28th September will attract a penalty fee of 200 kwacha per person.
Make your payments through mobile money. For MTN 096 296 5883. For Airtel, 097 975 3010. Our banking details are 913 000 182 5325. Stanbic Bank, Kablonga Branch.
A very interesting game being played today at 15 hours. That's Red Arrows versus the Young Buffaloes. Augustine, I'll start with you. What are the chances of Red Arrows winning this one?
I think it's very, very tricky encounter for both Red Arrows and Young Buffaloes. I think if you heard in the press conference yesterday, the Young Buffaloes coach said they don't know much about Red Arrows. He was asked the question, how much do you know about Red Arrows? And he said, we do not know much about Red Arrows, because in African football, it's difficult to know about your positions, because I think you look at the way the European setup is. Most of their games are broadcasted there. You search on YouTube, you find them. But for Africa, it's very, very difficult to have an opponent's watch. So it's basically little information that you gather about your positions and try and put it on board. Red Arrows taking on Young Buffaloes is very, very big encounter for Arrows starting at home. I think they should not mess it up like they did in 2012. They have to hit the ground running. They have to attack Young Buffaloes and take the game to them, win it convincingly here in Lusaka, so that when you go to Eswatini, because in continental football is different from the local league. The way you'll be treated, the way you'll be received is different. Because I think, if you remember yesterday, the Young Buffaloes coach was happy the way Red Arrows received them, but do not expect the same when you go to visit them. So now Red Arrows will rely on the experience of James Chamanga. He's been in heated moments.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
You are through to off the pitch. Your name and where you are calling us from?
I'm Churchill Winter. Calling you from Kaburushi.
Oh, okay. You can go ahead with your contribution, Mr. Chilesha.
Yes, sir. The game against Swatini, we did not play well. But for today, it was we played a very nice game. I'm sure we were inexperienced players. That's why we lost that game.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Do you think we will be able to? Are we going to qualify?
If we are given the way we are triple C and we need this to data and we can win.
Okay.
If we is there, yes.
Thank you very much for your contribution.
Okay, thank you.
Augustine.
Yeah. So if you look at James Chamanga, he's won the Africa Cup of Nations. He brings bags of experience to Red Arrows, and if you look at their signings during this transfer market, they have gone for Colombia. I think he's the guy who comes and sorts out the goalkeeping department problems that Red Arrows have had. I think now they've got Kenny Mumba, they've got Yasin Mugabe and Colombia, who can do the work for Red Arrows in that department. They're strengthening the left back. They brought in Gibson Kamanga. He's got some international experience. He's played continental football for Zanaco. He's a very, very good left back. I think lacked game time at Zanaco, but he's got a chance now to prove himself at Red Arrows, because it was the same when Red Arrows were taking Prosper Chiluya from Cow Warriors. He lacked game time at that time, but now Prosper Chiluya is now someone who is even part of the national team. So it's a chance for Gibson Kamanga to prove himself. They've got Joseph Lungu at left back. He played in Europe, in Slovakia for a season or so. They have brought in Fred Sutra Shimenga, comes in with a lot of experience as well. Edward Tembo, from Buildicon. He played continental football with Zesco United. He won the Junior African Cup of Nations under 20 in 2017 with Zambia. He comes in with a different side of the game, because he's very, very good. Edward on the ball, he will dictate play. He will suit in Red Arrows' philosophy very, very well, because Red Arrows love to keep the ball and pass it. I feel Trezor Shibwabwa will be very, very key to Red Arrows' campaign in this continental football. He's the guy who is sitting at the heart of defense. He should keep that defense tight, because Red Arrows at the back of end of the season, I think the second round they just conceded 7 goals, Red Arrows, the entire second round of the league, so they can build from that and go into continental football, try and take the game to Mbawane or to Young Buffalo, sorry. And if you look at Red Arrows' home form in continental football, I think it's looking pretty good. I think except one defeat by Enyimba, which was a very huge defeat by 6-1. That's the only game Red Arrows have lost at home in continental football. They can try and keep it that way, playing today at National Hero Stadium against the Young Buffalo side. But Red Arrows look very good for this game.
You laughed when Augustine brought up Kebson Kamanga. But how is the competition going to be with Prosper Chilwell?
It's a good. There are actually 3 left backs there. There's Kebson, there's Prosper, and there's Joseph. So it's very tight. And I think the one who played more pre-season is actually Joseph Lungu, who has played a couple of games at that left back. And I think from yesterday's interview, the technical director was very positive about a positive start this afternoon, and he says the lads are well prepared, well psyched. And for me, I think that's the most important thing. Playing a club that you have very little information about in Young Buffaloes, the best you can do is don't underrate them. Go there and do your thing right. Play with a positive mind, focus, stay focused. And I think at the end of the day, I'm seeing a very positive result for Red Arrows. When you look at Eswatini, their CEO, I think his name is Sandile. I had a chat with him yesterday, and he spoke very highly of 2 clubs in Southern Africa that the club thinks are the giants of Southern Africa. That is Mamelodi Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs of South Africa. The rest of the clubs, he said, he's equal to the task. He can take them on. It will be an interesting afternoon. He clearly made it very straightforward. In Southern Africa, the giants of African football are just Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs. The rest, you are neither here, you are neither there. So that for me.
So he didn't even add Power 90.
No. Because in the 90s.
They have won continental football. Kaizer Chiefs, what have they won?
I think his comment is basically on the current state of affairs.
Kaizer Chiefs were almost fighting ready.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
I'm okay, how are you? Your name and where you are calling us from, sir?
I'm from Kamala, sir.
Oh, okay, you can go ahead with your contribution.
I just want to say that what I've said in this game, I think we are not going anywhere. Unless we bring back the regions to come and fight this war, maybe we can go somewhere. As Redford said, that they are ready to come and help so that we can go far. That's the contribution.
No, thank you. Thank you very much for your contribution, sir.
All right, sir.
Okay.
Redford now? Really? I think to me the problem, it's his opinion that the problem that I've seen a lot with us Zambians, many people are calling for this Davis House, so Redford Kalaba. They don't watch the local league. That's the one fact, because they do not see young talent that we have. I think I would be thinking of Chandamukuka to be the next Redford Kalaba, because I've seen what he's done. With this continental experience, he'll be on a different level. I think Dominic Chanda, we saw a different Dominic Chanda now that is being given a chance. I think we just need to just have faith in these young lads and they'll deliver.
Anyway, Angorapso, let's look at it's not only Red Arrows that's in action today. Considering the CAF Confederation, we've got Kawe Warriors as well, who is facing CFFA.
Well, Kawe Warriors flew out, and I only hope that the 18-man squad they got is sufficient. I feel they got very few players, but I think they were limited by the space in the aircraft they organized. They got exactly 18 players, and I think for me,
and with a big delegation.
It's always the case. The delegation becomes bigger than
this.
I was even wondering, I said, in a situation such as this where you are limited to 28 spaces, why don't you give priority to the players who are going to do the job on the ground? But clearly, half of the traveling party is just part administrators. But we can only wish them all the best. I think they are motivated by the joining in of one Prince Mumba and Dominic Chanda, who got international experience now.
Let's just pick this call. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes,
Moshe, zina yanu na kwemtumira.
Jina wapita kuli Livingstone.
Oh, kuli branch kuli Livingstone wapita.
Kuli chama Moshe.
Hawe, you can go ahead.
Okay, ni kuda pa bola wa Zambia jape si tunake Moshe but na wina. Maja number 2, lati ya Moshe but nakali wa kuwina. So kwa kunika ba leko ta baja olowarido wa tatu wa tanzeko wa pana.
Okay.
Experience jape de kunika pia.
So meaning my chances it kadina yo qualify it kadita okuru wakuru. Oh, but wacoach wewe walichabe bwino. Wacoach wewe walichabe bwino. Oh. Okay, mwagira nchito wapita. Okay. Ango Rapson.
Dwelling on what the caller just said before I get back to the Warriors game, I think it is important to appreciate that the team created chances. They played very well.
And
the result that didn't go out.
And I remember last week's show, you said something to say, when we have Brian there, you need the 12 chances.
But to be honest, with Brian's performance going back to the game, I think it was average. It wasn't the best. It wasn't very bad because Brian was really scared to take the risk. If you saw how he was playing it safe. We just hold on to the ball, play it back to the midfielders. Unlike Patson, that exactly
to let the ball go.
As a centre forward,
you're running behind.
The risk and the pressure is on you to score. But every time when you hold the ball, you want to play it back. At what point are you going to turn and shoot on target?
Exactly.
That is where the biggest problem was with Brian in that game. He was very cautious. He was thinking it was Kosafa and he would get the Kosafa chances that way. But I think as a striker, he should have done a little bit better by taking the defenders on and trying to shoot. Create your own chance, have chance and shoot. Very, very important. But coming back to Warriors, really, I feel the squad has been reinforced very, very well. Very, very well, starting from the technical bench to the players. And I really, honestly speaking, I am seeing a positive result coming out of Madagascar this afternoon from their end.
I think, interestingly,
they are not going to lose.
Even if the staff.
Winning staff. But they are not going to
lose. The staff.
But if you look at Warriors, the most exciting part about Warriors is their attacking third. I think if you look at, they have got a lot of options. I think it's interesting. They've got Jimmy Belekin-Lovu, they have got Twiza Chaiwe and Akakulu. He's a guy who can play down the middle in both flanks. He'll give you the same, almost the same, because he's very, very good. I think he's grown from the time he was at ZAMBIA'S United. He's different, he's confident now. I think those three will play a very, very good key role under the midfield with Ali Sadiki. I think very, very good left foot Ali Sadiki. Creates chances for Warriors and Clement Mundia. One good exciting addition for Warriors will be Marcel Kalonda. The continental experience he comes with.
Strong center pairing.
With Dominic Chanda. Very, very good in the air, both of them. And Dominic Chanda is good on the ground as well. Is comfortable in possession. So it will be a very, very good pairing between the two. I've seen Boyd Mkandawiri has traveled with him. Probably might start at left back, and it's going to be very, very good because he's been given a second chance in football. Boyd Mkandawiri, he has to hold with both hands and make the best out of it. I believe Warriors, like Angorapson have said, I see them going through this tie. I do not know how it will happen in the first leg, but I think a draw will be good for Warriors.
A quick one before we take a look at the Bola Yapazedi, the games that are being played today. Let's do a quick one on Zanaco and Zesco United, who are playing tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. And Zanaco is away to Akonangui FC, and Zesco United is playing Royal Leopards. Your take on this one? I'll start with Zesco United, Augustine.
Interestingly, Zesco United, if you look at their squad, the way they have done their business in this transfer market, I think Zesco United have done the best business, if you have to be honest, amongst the team that have gone into continental football. They've addressed areas where they felt that they needed to strengthen. They didn't just go to strengthen on any position. If you look at the late signings of Spencer Sautu and Grigori Sanjase, it gives them an extra boost and strength and depth in Zesco United. I think going forward, I think they need to try and play Jesse Wade down the middle rather than in the flanks. He no longer has that pace and energy to play in wide areas. I feel he needs to be played down the middle so that he can be supported maybe by Kelvin Kambamba Mwanga or Chanda Mukuka. Play close to him. They've got John Chingandu, they've got Tafatso Arusiki, they've got a lot of attacking players. They've got Edward Lungu, one exciting lad from last season. He'll play closer to Jesse Jackson, where Zesco United, I think, look very, very strong against the Royal Leopard side. If we have to be honest, Zesco United have been to the semi-finals of the Champions League. I think Royal Leopards, I think Zesco will walk over them. And going to Zanaco go away, it's a tricky encounter. They need to get the results, maybe an away draw and come to finish it here in Lusaka. They've got a couple of players with continental experience, with international experience. They've brought Akim Mumbai, was playing for Ghana in continental football last season. They've brought on Isaac Shamjompa. He's been an international player for the national team. He gives them a different dimension. We hope they just don't get frustrated in Guinea, because this happens most of the times when you travel in Africa. I think we have, the news that was coming through is that the hosts haven't prepared the press conference. There won't be any press conference for this match. So Zanaco are now trying to find alternatives on how they will give us the stories coming from that side, because there is no press conference.
A quick one, Uncle Rapson, on the Bangers.
Well, very, very tricky. Very, very tricky for me, if you ask me. They have that experience by virtue of being Zanaco Football Club. But I think the combination of the players that they have now, they've had a number of acquisitions, and I'm only hoping that they will manage to gel in and create that sync that they need for them to deliver the results. Most of the players in the team that has flown out, they're very, very new players. Very, very new players. One interesting one is Charles. I think Charles Lau, the goalkeeper. That is the best acquisition of the season. We saw how Zanaco was suffering in
the goalkeeping department.
In the goalkeeping department last season, where this goalkeeper plays this match this weekend, makes a blunder. Next weekend, you see this other one makes a blunder. We saw the departure of Tostas. But I think for me, stability comes in when you bring a goalkeeper who's as good as Charles Lau, and we can only wish them all the best. The leaving of Boyd Msonda still remains very, very explainable to me, because that's one player that I expected to go and hustle in the middle of the pack, in as much as his time is not ripe enough to play for the national team.
Yes.
But I think for the club, he's neither here nor there. I think should have done a little bit better in the middle of the pack there. They've decided to go with the new guys that have joined the club together with the old lads. And my only hope is that Coach Kelvin Kaindu grinds the result out of this outing for the betterness of this country's force roads that we have on the African continent.
And the biggest to Zanaco, the biggest victory in this transfer market, I think, is keeping hold of Moses Piri. It's very, very huge for Zanaco going into this continental football and try to challenge for the league. Moses Piri will be very, very key, and I hope it starts on fire when they play continental football tomorrow.
Hello, we've got some comments here from that's on Facebook, on our Facebook page. That's Camnet. We've got Casper JM, and he's commenting on the question for today, and he's saying it's extremely bad. So meaning that's the performance that we did. And we've got Sylvester Chivutu. Those guys are never serious, including their coach, so-called Chambeshi. Then we've got the comment again from Silva Chivutu, who goes to say those guys are lacking experience and they can learn it from the senior players who are supposed to be invited by your coach. Meaning that's our coach, one best one. And then we've got Gaston Loicaps. He's also commenting to say below average. Bola Yapazet Diango Rapson is back. And we've got some games that are being played today. That's at 15 hours. And we've got Kongola Blades, who is playing against Power Dynamos. That's at Kongola Stadium, and it's live on Super Sport Variety 4, and that's on Go TV Select Go 2. But for me, the interesting fixture that I would love to see today is the one that Kafue Celtic is taking on Chambishi at Edwin Imboila.
The battle of the qualifiers,
yes,
is on this afternoon, and interestingly enough is the game between Sharp Razor versus Power Dynamos this afternoon, and for me that is one game that Power Dynamos have never.
Let's just speak this one. Hello. Good morning, sir. Your name and where you are calling us from? Oh, okay. You can go ahead with your contribution, sir.
Yes, we are talking about raising our national team as far as the qualification of the World Cup.
Yes, the 2 games that we've played so far.
Unfortunately, I'm not seeing ourselves moving ahead as long as we keep too many of our young footballers in our team. Yes, I would prefer we have the young people mixed with the old people that will be. Where are the sons of this world? The Chobokawasos, the Kanavas. Let these people be brought on board and help them. We are happy that now we have this talent in Zambia. But as long as we maybe just expose them thinking they are not mature yet. So they need that business up of the old people. Let's bring all the people on board and we shall see ourselves moving. As long as we have these young people alone, we are not seeing ourselves moving ahead. That's for the people from England, the parts of that one. But they cannot do it. The 2 of them or 3 of them, including the parts of that one. So let our national team be include these old people. That's my contribution.
Thank you very much for your contribution, sir. Ngorapson, you laughed. Where is the likes of Kawasotongo? Anyway.
You know why I laughed? I remember one game at Hero Stadium where the ball was being attacked. And
against Algeria.
He was being attacked and the striker was attacking him, was like 15 meters away from him. The ball was somewhere here. He decided to go with his head together with his legs in his chest.
He decided to go with a gadabu.
I was a little bit disappointed, but it's an opinion that he has, and he feels that when we blend the old and the new, we might grind results. Well, it's up to the coach to decide how the future of the national team is, and we can only speak and he can act. But at the end of the day, I think the young lads are doing fine. I think it's just in the striking force department where we look like we are so dependent on Patson Daka, Fashion Sakala, and the attacking prowess of Emmanuel Mwepo. Enoch Mwepo. But to depend on 3 people, when they are not there, you even see the gap is unsustainable. Especially with these new rules where COVID-red hotspots are playing on the African continent. So there will be the games that will be played will either be determined by the COVID status of the country, whether those guys can come or they may not come. So for me, really, it's up to the coach. But moving away from that, we're talking about one interesting game. Zanaco in
Kongola Blaze versus Power Dynamos.
We've gone to our local league. Power Dynamos. I think there are many visits to Chirilabombo have been in futile, and I see that position being replicated this afternoon, because when you look at how Kongola Blades have prepared for this season, and when you see how Power Dynamos is and how they ended the season, I think the team that has got an upper hand for this afternoon's match is actually the home team. The home team has got an
Let's just pick this last call. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you are calling us from?
It's Roger calling from Lusaka.
Oh, okay. You can go ahead with your contribution, Mr. Rogers.
Yes, the part to comment on the game with Tunisia versus Zambia.
Yes.
That game we were supposed to win that game, but the only problem the players we have, they don't have that heart to play for the mother of Zambia. We had the chances in second half. They were supposed to win that game, but we could have tried that. So, in the first half, the problem was the coach. We had no midfield, but the coach was just sitting, looking at the player, they're doing nothing. And the defense also was a problem. We had players like Stones, Stones. They are retired, or they're still playing.
they are still playing.
They know the young man. So that we can win the games with what they want. That's my contribution.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Uncle Raptor.
They are still playing my dad's football in Zambia, so they might be given a chance anyway. But I think, like I was saying, Kongola Blades has a very, very better chance of grinding a result at home. They are back in the Super League after a very, very long time, and I think the way they have prepared the squad, I've been following them in off-season, and it will be an interesting match for the interim coach for Power Dynamos, who's Masao Sotembo, and it will be very, very interesting. Songo Chawe has joined that team, and they have a rich technical bench now. I think the experience of Songo Chawe from Red Arrows gives them an upper hand and that edge that they need in terms of the technical abilities of facing opponents like Kongola Blades this afternoon. So for me, I'm giving an upper hand to Kongola Blades this afternoon in that particular match.
Augustine, the mighty Kafue Celtic is out of the Eden, and they've decided to give it a try in the Super League.
They wait for it.
But they've always been working for it. But never have we seen them proceeding.
Kafue Celtic for me really is a club that is into business.
Or maybe
nature talent, they don't keep talent. Talent goes and they make money. That is the best thing their CEO has done.
So he's made money now, and he said, "Let me."
That's. I mean, he's in business. And for me, really, sustaining a team in the Premier League versus making money,
they are two different.
It has to be balanced, and I think he has done pretty well. And to have Kafue Celtic in the Premier League this season, they've reinforced their squad, but they believe in young talent. That's the most important thing I like about them. If they'll be losing matches, they'll be losing matches because of inexperience, but not the talent. If you want to watch them and enjoy football, make time and watch Kafue Celtic. You enjoy their game.
Augustine.
Yeah, interesting.
Kafue Celtic versus Chambishi.
Chambishi, very, very good game between the two, Kafue Celtic and Chambishi. If you look at Kafue Celtic, they are a very, very exciting team with a very exciting young lads who are willing to take on everyone. They'll be brave. They will not shy away from the big stage. They will try and embrace the big stage. Kafue Celtic, they will try and attack teams. They will not be very cautious. They will not play with a handbrake on. They will be very, very excited to watch. They'll be good going forward. I think that will be their undoing part that will send them back to Eden University, because I think to me it will leave a lot of gaps. It will show a lot of inexperience, because if you look at the Premier League and compared to the National League is all about dominating teams. It's all about outscoring your opponents. It's all about ball retention, but it's not the same in the Super League. The Super League is different. We've seen teams down the years and corruption like Nakambala Leopards, Green Eagles. They stayed up by being very organized defensively. They are very hard to beat. They made their home ground fortress. They never played pretty football, and they stayed up. That's what it takes when you don't have the character, you do not have the personnel that will take you, help you stay up. But it will be very exciting to see what they bring to the Super League. They have got a lot of exciting youngsters. I think maybe half of the team will stay in the Premier League when the team goes down to the Eden University. They are playing.
What makes you think they are going down before they even kick?
I think that's my own observation. Looking at the business they have done.
It's still risky.
Yeah, I think to me this battle is a battle of two teams that are destined for the drop. If you ask me, if I have to be honest, Chambishi, I think they'll finish bottom of the league. I do not see anything good coming out from Chambishi with their coach.
Already you are judging the battle of survival.
Yeah, I think these guys are destined. They'll be fighting for relegation. Let's just be honest.
But what about Bitcoin?
Beautycon, they're neither, they'll be down there as well. They'll be down there. I think if there are teams who are in the Super League who look like they can be relegated, I think Beautycon is one of those sides. We do not know what they are doing.
You're confirming 3 slots.
Beautycon, I'm not confirming them relegated. If I'm confirming teams relegated, I'll confirm Cafe Celtic will be relegated come the end of the season. Chambishi will be relegated come the end of the season. Konkola Blades might be in that conversation. Indian will be relegated.
I'm upset. We'll keep.
They'll be.
Konkola Blades.
We'll see.
I've seen them play pre-season.
They are playing.
I think when you look at their technical abilities and their new acquisitions, they will be.
So who do they impress in the Premier League?
Beautycon, of course.
So Beautycon goes down.
It's that.
Indian, it don't look
beginning
good.
This afternoon. See the result. Green Eagles versus Beautycon. It's a game that is being played this afternoon. I think it will be played in Choma. And when you look at how Beautycon has been preparing for this season, I think they've been the weakest link with regards to preparations. Weakest link in the Premier League. They probably have trained in less than 3-4 weeks. The whole time that they're preparing for pre-season, there were so many rumors that were flying around. We've seen a lot of mass exodus.
They're in disaster, yes.
Mass exodus of players, and to bring in a team, to bring in players that are going to fill in the gaps of everybody who has left Beautycon. Probably 80% of the players that played last season are no longer at Beautycon. So it's a rebranded Beautycon that we are going to be seeing. And for them to get to a stage where they gel up and form a team, it will be probably mid-season. And when you touch mid-season and your performance has been pathetic, coming up there is rough. Nobody will ever replicate Ghana Football Club's performance from last season.
The man is very confident, Augustine.
But you survive relegation towards the end. Courtesy of one.
Red Arrows and GBFC did that in 2014. They did that well. They are the last bottom two teams, Red Arrows and GBFC, and both stayed up.
Yeah, but it will not be replicated.
What Ghana did, I think it was a big miracle. If you have to be honest, it was a big miracle.
A miracle by.
I think NAPSA were even better off, looking like they would stay up than
NAPSA
Ghana.
Just needed 2 wins,
and they never won.
Losing.
They lost. Is it 8 games in a row?
Yes.
And talking about NAPSA,
worst case scenario, which I really like the most, is when Coach Fati was relieved of his duties and the physical trainer Chintu Kambamba was given the opportunity to take the team. And I watched his last 5 games of the season. Not even 1 point. Not even 1 point. He lost everything. And now apparently I've been following the team, and I think he's probably will not see him part of the team.
The technical
is yet to confirm, but he's been, I think, rumor has it yet to be confirmed. He's been relegated to the youth team now, and you will not see him part of the technical.
And one exciting thing about NAPSA Stars start with City motto. This should be a Premier League game, not an Eden.
Same.
It will be a crack of a game.
It will be a crack.
Due to time, gentlemen, let me just go give an overview of the games that are being played today. Let me finish up there. Like I said, we've got Kongola Blades versus Power Dynamos, and then we've got Kafue Celtic versus Chambishi. We've got Prison Leopards versus Forest Rangers. We've got Green Eagles versus Beautycon. We've got Green Buffaloes versus Lusaka Dynamos. A dying Lusaka Dynamos for me. Tomorrow, Sunday, we've got Ghana versus Ngwazi. Alex Bazongonga, and then it will be live as well. That's on Super Sport. Postponed game, that's Indeni versus Kawi Warriors. Zesco United versus Red Arrows. Kansenshi Dynamos versus Zanaco due to continental football. And in the FAS Eden University, the games that you're expecting today, we've got Livingstone Pirates versus Nchanga Rangers, Zesco Malaiti versus Police College. We've got Luapula Green Eagles versus Mufulira Wanderers. We've got Young Green Buffaloes versus Lumwana. And we've got City of Lusaka versus NAPSA Stars. And it will be live on ZNBC. We've got Kaiser versus Quattro Kalumbila, Trident versus Gomes, and Moza versus Jumelo. And then postponed game, we've got Kitwe United versus Young Green Eagles. Those are the games that are being played today. Your final remarks, gentlemen. I'll start with you, Uncle Rapson, due to time.
Interesting game. The Engineers. My hope is to find every game that the Engineers play. I think they are called Engineers Jumolo. They've made quite a couple of signings in the National League, and I would like to see how they fare up in the Premier League. And in my closing, I think let me appreciate the fact that it was nice to get a call from one Kelvin Mutafu, the Nkana Football Club CEO, wishing me a very happy birthday in the club. And my feedback to him was, I hope that this message of goodwill will be replicated in the Nkana performance against Nkwazi tomorrow to complete my birthday week. All the best to Nkana Football Club tomorrow as they face Nkwazi Football Club. I think to the Symposia family, like I said, deepest condolences to the family, and as we put our brother to rest this morning, we wish the family all the best. And to the soccer fraternity, Red Arrows, all the best this afternoon. To the technical bench, please make Zambia proud. Zesco, Zanaco, and Cabo Warriors, please represent us well. We want nothing but the best of the 4 teams. The most important thing is if we can get to the group stages, big plus for the team.
Augustine.
Country.
Yeah, I think a big thanks to everyone who tuned in to watch us. I think we always thank the viewers out there. I think they play a very, very big role. And a big thanks to the entire production team that made this possible. We're looking forward to the league games that have been played. Bola Pazet is back, and to all the teams that are representing Zambia, all the very best in continental football. I think my head is already at Hero Stadium.
You know, I think we are delaying Augustine here. His head is already at Hero Stadium to cover the game, that's Red Arrows versus Young Buffaloes. But for all those who are anticipating, you can watch other games that are being played. That's the game between Kongola Blades versus Power Dynamos that will be live as well. And hopefully, like Augustine has said, we thank you, the viewers, for joining us. And on behalf of the whole entire production team, that's one Precious Mzee Sakaliji who is here directing us, not forgetting Isaac upstairs there doing all the mix-up. And one, Mr. and Mrs. Chilua, our pastors, for giving us this opportunity to give you nothing but the best in terms of sports. Hopefully you stay glued to your TVs and don't forget to watch the Manchester United game, as we hope Cristiano Ronaldo will make his second debut today. And the way Uncle Rapson is looking at me, as we go and feast on Uncle Rapson's cake right now, we're out, but stay glued for Amazing Katamanda is coming on your screens with the weekly gospel show. I'm out. Bye-bye.